Hi students, good morning everyone. So in our last class, we have finished construction of NP chart along with the problem. So NP chart we have done only one case, that is where the sample size is constant. That is we have finished for fixed sampling size. Today we will be discussing the NP chart with varying sample size. So coming to NP chart with varying sample size. So varying sample size means if the sample size differs, that is Ni value is different, so how will you get the control limits? For each and every sample, you will be calculating the UCL and LCL values. In P chart also, we have done P chart for varying sample size, where we have created columns for the UCL and LCL values also. That means for every sample, we got different UCLs and different LCLs. In NP chart, along with different UCLs and different LCLs, we will be getting the different CLs also. Because CL of NP chart is N into P, right? So there we have N value, the CL also changes. So here also, DI follows binomial distribution with N comma P. So for every sample there are different samples, you get Ni comma P. So expectation of DI will be Ni into P and the variance of DI will be Ni into P into Q. So what are the 3 sigma control limits for NP chart we got? NP plus or minus 3 into under root NPQ. These were the general control limits we got for the NP chart. So the control limits will be the 3 sigma control limits. So in place of N, we will get Ni, right? So there are different sample sizes. So the 3 sigma control limits are, so what are the 3 sigma control limits? NIP plus or minus 3 into under root NIPQ. So here also you will be having 2 cases. Coming to the first case, when standards are known, that is P dash is a known value for P. So similarly, Q dash is a known value of Q. So coming to the 3 sigma control limits, therefore the 3 sigma control limits are for NP chart with varying sample sizes. So what are the 3 sigma control limits? UCL equals to, in place of P we will be writing P dash, and in place of N we have to write Ni. So Ni P dash plus 3 into under root Ni P dash Q dash. So this is the UCL, and next is CL equals to Ni P dash and LCL equals to Ni P dash minus 3 into under root Ni P dash Q dash. So these are the control limits for the case 1. Similarly, we will write the control limits for the case 2. So what is the case 2? Case 2 is when the standards are unknown. When the standards are unknown. So whenever P is unknown, if P is unknown, how we will estimate it? We will estimate P by using, so we estimate by using P bar. So what is P bar? Here P bar is summation. So here P bar equals to summation Di by summation Ni. So this is the P bar value, that is P bar equals to summation Di by summation Ni. So Di's and Ni's will be bar. Now write down the 3 sigma control limits. The 3 sigma control limits are, so first UCL equals to Ni P bar plus 3 into under root Ni P bar Q bar. Next, similarly, CL equals to Ni into P bar and LCL equals to Ni P bar minus 3 into under root Ni P bar Q bar. So these are the control limits for the construction of NP chart. Now how will you get the chart? Since here UCL, CL and LCL, 3 are varying. In P chart only 2 will be varying, but whereas in NP chart the UCL, CL and LCL all will be the varying, so that you will get the chart as I show the chart. Here you will not get any horizontal lines because UCL is different, CLs are different and LCLs are also different. So coming to NP chart for varying sample size. So on the x-axis you will be taking the sample number and on the y-axis you will be taking the NP chart, that is D chart. So number of defectives will be taken. So UCL, for every sample you will get different UCLs, different CLs and different LCLs also. So for first sample, we will get some LCL, UCL. For the second sample, you will get something. For third sample, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, like this. All the UCLs you will be joining with a dotted line, and this is the UCL for D chart. Similarly, CL also. So in all the chart, the CL is a dark horizontal line itself. But in NP chart, with varying sample size, even it will not be same. You will get a curve line only. If the CL, you will get like this, something like this. All will be the curves only. So CL is a dark line. So join these values using the dark line only. So similarly, we will be plotting the LCL also. So if you plot the LCL, so LCL should be joined by using the dotted line. So after plotting UCL, CL and LCL, you will be getting, you will not get a straight line, so you will get different values will be there. So you get the curve kind. So this is NP chart. After this, you will be plotting your DI values. So after plotting your DI values, if all the values are below UCL and above LCL, then the process is said to be under control. So if any value goes above UCL or any value comes below LCL, then the process is not under statistical control. So NP chart for varying sample size, you have to draw the graph very carefully because you will be getting 3 lines, all the curves only, and you will get the, for DIs also you will get the another curve. So this should be drawn very carefully. After that, interpret your chart. So interpret, how you interpret? If all the points are above UCL and below LCL, then the process is said to be under control, and if any point goes above UCL, that are called high spots, and any point goes below LCL, that are called low spots. Low spots indicate the improvement in the quality of production process, and the high spots indicate the deterioration in the quality of production process. So this is the construction of NP chart, which is with varying sample size, which is very similar to the NP chart with fixed sample size. Now we'll see a problem here we have to use D chart for varying sample size. So in your question, only one sample size given, so you will use fixed sample size case, and if different sample sizes are given, we will be using the varying sample size. So coming to the solution, first we have to write the control limits for the NP chart, that too for the varying sample size. So first write down the control limits, the 3 sigma control limits for NP chart, or you can write D chart, NP chart or D chart for varying sample size, for varying sample sizes. So what are the control limits? First write down the UCL. UCL equals to NI P bar. Next CL equals to, NI P bar plus 3 into under root NI P bar Q bar. Next CL equals to NI into P bar, and next LCL equals to NI P bar minus 3 into under root NI P bar Q bar. So what is P bar here? P bar equals to summation of DI, I equals to 1 to k divided by summation of NI. That means we want the summation of DI and summation of NI, and for each sample you have to calculate a separate UCL, separate CL and separate LCLs also. So now draw the box. So total there are 10 samples. So first we will write the sample number. So in the next we will write the sample size, that is NI values. So write down the sample sizes. And next you have to write the defectives, that is DI values. So write down the given defectives. Then after that, if you observe the control limits, this value plus this value, or this value minus this value. So for the first value we will create a column, that is NI into P bar. So what is this NI into P bar? NI into P bar is nothing but your CL. So if you observe, CL is nothing but NI into P bar. So write a column for that, NI into P bar. Next, you have to create a column for this value, that is 3 into under root. So 3 into under root NI P bar into Q bar. So after getting this value, we will be substituting by using this column and this column. We will be finding the UCL and CL values. So here you will get the column for UCL, and next you will be getting the column for LCL. So here write down the UCL value, and the next write down the LCL value. So this is the table we have to prepare for NP chart with varying sample size. So write down the sample numbers, 1, 2, so total 10 samples. Next you write the sample sizes, NI values. First value is 500, second value is 400, next value is 300, next fourth value is 150, next fifth value is 600, next fifth value is 600, sixth value is 450, seventh value is 750, eighth sample size is 800, ninth is 900, and 10th is 1000. So after writing the sample sizes, write down the defectives, that is DI values. First value is but I want P bar value. So P bar equals to summation of Di divided by summation of Ni. That means you want the summations for the second column and the third column. So if you do the totals for Ni, you will get the summation of Ni as 5850. So summation of Ni you will get 5850, and similarly do the summation of Di, you will get it as 508. So now we got summation of Di and summation of Ni. Substitute in the formula, what is summation of Ni? It is 508 divided by summation of Ni is 5850. So therefore P bar value you will get it as, do it, 508 divided by 5850. The answer is 0.0868. So this is P bar. Now calculate Q bar. Q bar equals to 1 minus P bar equals to 1 minus P bar is 0.0868. So 1 minus 0.0868 is Q bar equals to 0.913. So Q bar equals to 0.913. Now we got P bar values and Q bar values of. Now start calculating the CL, UCL and LCL values. First coming to the CL, what is the CL formula? Ni into P bar. So what is the first Ni value? 500 into, what is the P bar value we got? 0.0868. 0.0868. So 0.0868 into 500, you will get the first value as 43.4. So similarly, you calculate the values for the remaining also. Just change the Di values into Ni values into P bar. So P bar, it is a constant value, that is 0.0868 into the sample size is 500. So for the next value you will get 400 into 0.0868. So 400 into 0.0868 is 34.72. The next value you will get 34.72. Now we got Ni P bar values. Next you have to calculate the 3 into under root Ni into P bar into Q bar. So how will you calculate? Similarly, like the before problem only, we had in P chart for varying sample size, we had 3 into under root P bar Q bar by N. So here denominator is not there, only the numerator values are there. You will get 3 into under root Ni. So what is the first Ni value? 500 into, what is P bar value? 0.0868 into, what is Q bar value we got? 0.913. 0.913. Now after substituting the Ni value and P bar value and Q bar value, keep under root of it and into 3, you will get the required column, that is 3 into. So similarly like the previous problem only, I have shown you. So I have to calculate this one. 3 into under root, open the bracket. So first 500 into P bar is 0.0868, 0.0868 into Q bar is 0.913, 0.913, close the bracket. You will get the answer as 18.88. So this is the UCL value for the first sample. So 18.88, sorry, this one 3 into it is 18.8843. So I am rounding off and writing 18.89. Only I am writing 2 digits so that we have to draw many lines, right? So for that case I am doing like this. Similarly, next value also, you have to P bar and Q bar values are same. You have to change only the sample size. So second sample size is 400. So in place of 500, write 400. You will get the answer as 16.89. So this is the second value, that is 16.89. Now, what is the UCL? UCL is NIP bar plus 3 into under root NIP bar Q bar. You have this value in your column 4, right? Yeah. You have this value in your column 4 and this value in the column 5. So how you get the UCL? UCL equals to column 4 plus column 5. You have to write the complete formula. For understanding purpose, I said column 4 plus column 5. So what is the formula for the UCL? So UCL is 3 into under root NI P bar Q bar. How do you get this column? Column 4 plus column 5. Similarly, LCL. How do you get the LCL value? So LCL you will get it as NI P bar minus 3 into under root NI P bar into Q bar. So how will you get this value? Column 4 minus column 5. So first, how will you get the first UCL? What is the first column? The fourth value 43.4. So 43.4 minus what is this value? Column fifth value 18.89. So 43.4 minus 18.89. You will get the first UCL value as 24.51. Similarly, in place of this is LCL value 24.51. If you put plus, you will get the UCL value as 62.2. So similarly like this, you find the UCL and CLs for all the samples. So what is the second sample? Column 4 value 34.72 plus what is the corresponding value? 16.89. 16.89. You will get 51. The second value is 51.61. Similarly, put minus. You will get 17.83. So for all the samples, you have to calculate the CL, UCL and LCL values. So now these are the required column values, that is the required UCL, CL and LCL values. So once take a screenshot of it so that while calculating you can check whether those answers are correct or not. So take a screenshot of it. So I'll read the CL values once. First one is 43.4, 34.72, 26.05, 13.02, 52.1, 39.07, 65.13, 69.47, 78.15, 86.84. So next coming to UCL values, 62.2, 51.61, 40.68, 23.36, 72.79, 56.99, 88.26, 93.36, 103.49, 113.53. Coming to LCL, 24.51, 17.83, 11.42, 2.68, 13.41, 31.41, 21.15, 42, 45.58, 52.81, 60.13. So while calculating, if you fix to 2 digits, you will get a minute change in the point values. If you fix to 4 digits or 2 digits, it depends on how you fix your values. If you get a slight change after the point value also, don't worry. After the point first 2 digits are equal, that's enough for you. Now after this we need to draw a chart for this. So all these UCLs should be plotted on the chart and they have to be joined with a dotted line. Similarly, all the LCLs should be plotted and joined with a dotted line. CL, all the CLs should be drawn and they should be joined with a dark line. Now we will see, I will show you how we will be getting the graph for the NP chart varying sample size. Now coming to the graph, that is NP chart for varying sample size. On the x-axis, take the sample number. So you should have at least 10 values because you have 10 samples. And on the y-axis, if you observe, the largest value for the DI or the UCL values is 130. So I need values up to 110. So on the y-axis, I took the scale as 10 units. So now first plot the UCL values. So for the first sample, the UCL value is 62.2. So first value, it is 62.2. Mark it, and the next second value is 51.61. So 51. Join it with a dotted line. Similarly, next one is 40.68. So 40.68. Join it with a dotted line, and the next is 23.36. So 23.36. Next, fifth value is 72.79. Join it with a dotted line. Next, 56.99. In between 50 and 60. Join it with a dotted line. Similarly, 88.26. So 88, we are to 90. Next, 93.36. Next, 103.49. So 103, 103. Next, the last value is 113.53. For the 10th sample, 113. It is little bit low. 103. Next is 130. So this is the UCL for NP chart with varying sample size. So similarly, you will be drawing the CL and LCL also. So plot the CL values. So first the CL value. So similarly, how I have plotted UCL, you plot the CL and LCL values also. So how we have drawn UCL, I have shown how to draw UCL, right? So similarly, like that only, you have to draw CL and LCL. So UCL will be a dotted line. So join those points with the dots, and whereas CL is it will be a dark line, right? So join the CL values by using the dark line only. You join the LCL values by using a dotted line. So after plotting UCL, CL and LCL, you plot the DI values. So DI values first is 25, second is 42, 35, 60. All those values you plot, and just even if I join these lines, you may observe that the graph will be very clumsy. So that's why I have just plotted the points and just rounded off it, and we'll check whether the process is under control or not. So if you observe this value, that is corresponding to fifth sample. So corresponding to fifth sample. So corresponding to fifth sample, it is going below UCL. So fifth sample DI value is 15. So that is not under control. we observe that the process is not under control. So what is the interpretation we are going to write? Since one point falls below LCL, that is at sample number 5, at sample 5 will be right, at sample number 5, so at sample number 5, the process is not under statistical control. The process is not under statistically controlled. So since we have observed, though it is not statistically under control, there is one low spot. There is one low spot which indicates that what does the low spot indicates? It indicates that there is a improvement in the quality of production process. So there is an improvement in the quality of production process. So this is the construction of NP chart for the varying sample size. So for varying sample size, you will be getting the different UCLs, different CLs and different LCLs. So for the CL you will get one column, that is Ni into P bar, and for LCL and UCL you have to create another columns. So by using LCL and UCL formulas, you will be finding the KLUCLs and KLCLs. In this problem case, we had 10 samples, so you will be getting 10 UCLs and 10 LCLs and 10 different CLs. So all those 10 values should be plotted on the graph. So join those values. So UCLs will be joined with a dotted line, LCL is also dotted line, CL is also CL is not a dotted line, it is a dark line. So after plotting, you have, since it is D chart, you have to plot all the D values. Since it becomes confusion, I have not joined those values. If you want, you can join these values also and observe the production process. For understanding purpose, I didn't join it. You can join it also. So if you are not getting confusion, you can join the DI values. Otherwise, you can check from the table itself and just plot here and check from the table whether whatever the DI values you have, in the last columns you will be having UCL and CL. Whether the DI value for each sample. So first the DI value you check with the first UCL, first LCL. If it lies between UCL and LCL, that sample is clear. Next go for the second sample. Like that you check for all samples. It will be easy for you to conclude the NP chart for varying sample size. So this is the construction of NP chart for varying sample size and the problem related to NP chart varying